What's up, everybody? Good morning to the Americans, the North Americans at least, and good evening to those across the Atlantic. It's Kramzer here with Joe, and we're back here with Good Music America. All right, right out of the gate, the big story in the music world is the passing of hip-hop rap icon DMX. Personally, for me, I never got into DMX a whole lot. I definitely recognize the voice, as does everyone when you hear that voice. Pretty influential. I mean, everyone's been making a big deal of it for days, and rightfully so. Not a whole lot of hip hop artists I get into. DMX was never really one of them, but I do distinctively remember in the late 90s when he got big or released his stuff. It's like everyone was just like writing. My best friends were like Rough Riders for life, dude. And I was like, yeah, I'm not sure what that means. But yeah, what's your relationship with DMX?
I have no relationship with DMX really. I like Rough Riders Anthem, plenty. Not my style. The gritty, sort of barking voice, very distinctive though. Obviously, very influential, loved in the hip hop community, and very popular. His first five albums all went, or he had five albums in a row that all went to number one on the Billboard charts. So you wouldn't really expect someone that kind of dark and gritty and explicit to be top of the Billboard charts, but I guess the late '90s were a different time. They had a lot of those harsher, gritty rappers. They no problem going to the top of the Billboard charts.
Late 90s was kind of mean spirited in general. I mean, you had that more gritty stuff in the hip hop world. You had a lot of like hardcore satanic stuff getting popular. Like, I mean, Rob Zombie was pretty popular in the late 90s. I can't really see that happening now, just with like that aesthetic at least. But does this make you want to get into DMX a little more, knowing how popular he was?
I don't think so. I just don't. I have no love for that era of hip hop, really. Between that and on the flip side, you had Nelly and sort of like the party rap, kind of feel good rap, which was fine. The singles, Hot in Here, and whatever else they were doing were fine, but I have no interest in listening to an entire DMX album or really anything from that period.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Mid 90s is where it kind of tails off for me. Although, funny you mentioned Nelly because I was listening to Nelly the last couple of days. I don't remember why. Um, an alarmingly large number of hits he had, like in the late 90s and early 2000s with EI and all of that stuff. Remember those fondly. Don't remember a whole lot of DMX, but given the sound of his voice, it is kind of surprising that he was that popular. So you're right about that. And really just, I think we've talked about this before, because we've been exposed to so many artists, celebrities, whether it's music or acting or comedy or whatever, it feels like every few days someone is passing away, and it just really sucks. Like, I know a lot of people were pretty hurt by DMX, like sort of like a big, their childhood growing up. Not so much for me, but always sad. So we do more in DMX here at Listography. Let's talk about Prince for a second, because the estate Prince, they found a Prince album. Who knew? A lost album by Prince coming out this summer called Welcome to America. Do these usually work? How do these work? How do you get a lost album? What's going on with this?
I can't remember any lost albums that turned out to be great. Usually they're okay, but it kind of depends on when this album was recorded. If, with Neil Young, for instance, you had last year him releasing what was the name of the Neil Young?
Homegrown?
Yeah, Homegrown. And it was recorded during his classic period. It was the '70s. He was just throwing out great albums basically every year. And so that kind of worked. But for this was recorded in 2010. So I don't know how you feel about 2010's Prince, but obviously not the classic 80s Prince, even into the 90s when he was kind of on top of the world. So I'm a big Prince fan. I'm not overly excited for this. I'll listen to it just because it's something new and maybe interesting, but I don't hold out a ton of hope for it being, some great lost record that's gonna blow my mind.
I'm kind of excited for it just because knowing when it came out, it seemed like he was really into his guitar work during this time. So it might have some of that, but then I don't want to hype that up too much because if it doesn't, I might get kind of let down. I don't really remember anything he was doing around this time. This I think his Super Bowl performance was what, '06 or '07, and the only thing I really remember him doing is like he did a song that came out in the show New Girl, and I don't know if that ever actually made it on any albums. I don't know if that's going to be on here, but yeah, these rarely work. And for the instance of Neil Young, he at least is alive and can talk, at least discuss or answer questions about why he didn't release this initially. He's got some control over this. Is this actually an album or is this just a collection of songs that they found and are throwing together? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, Prince hasn't made my top five or even honorable mentions since about 91. So this whole era of Prince is fine. It's good, but it just doesn't have the, power that his early stuff does. So I can't imagine I'll love it, but I'll listen to it. We'll see what it's like. Could be interesting.
In other future new release news, your girl Taylor Swift, who none of us on the channel really like very much, now owns her original recordings and is going to remaster and reproduce them. Is this correct? And do we care?
I believe that is correct. She got them back from whoever owned them, whatever. She signed a contract with those Big Machine Records or something like that. And all her early stuff. This is her first album, Fearless, that she just released. Again, Taylor's version now. It's Taylor's version. And apparently she went back through with Aaron Dresner and whoever else she's been collaborating with to sort of just fix up the recording a little bit. I haven't heard it. From what I understand, it's not that different. She re-recorded the vocals, so they'll have more slightly mature sound. Altered the production a little bit, but it's not like a total re-recording or a reimagining of it. I think it's just sort of updating it so that she now has like her vision or whatever. But I don't really understand when artists do this. I know Ozzy did this back. He re-recorded a bunch of his songs, I think for his greatest hits or something, or maybe he's redoing the whole albums. And it just seems dumb. You're kind of erasing the original vision. I mean, I think it's dumb to go back and like try and perfect like your old stuff. Just kind of let it be. If you want to redo it because you want to own the songs, like I don't understand if like someone buys an original copy of Fearless, is it not get all the money to her? Do you have to like buy the new Fearless to give her your money? Like I don't understand, I guess, the difference. I think it's just kind of a pointless exercise.
Agreed. I can't really think of many instances, or one in particular, where I heard the remaster and was like, this doesn't, why would you do this? You ruined it. Is the remaster of Pearl Jam's 10 in '08. Like, it sounds like kind of just like this meaty rock record. It takes all of like the little nuances of the production from the original out of it. So every time I listen to that album or like pick a song, throw in a playlist from 10, I gotta make sure it's like one of the original ones, because I think it was 2008 they did the remaster, and that kind of becomes the versions that you hear on the radio all the time. And I'll hear it and I'll hear 20 seconds of even flow and I'll be like, this doesn't sound correct. Something's wrong with this. So if you ever need like an introduction on what little touches of production you can go into. I say go to 10 original and then 10 remaster, and you can hear the difference big time. So yeah, I don't really care much for Taylor Swift. So good luck with that, T Swift fans and Swifties out there. All right. On a more fun note, Jason, Joe, and myself have talked about the possibility in September of going to Tennessee and getting some barbecue and having a boys' weekend and checking out the Bonnaroo Festival, because really good lineup. And I, for one, am itching to go check out some live music. So we want to talk about the Bonnaroo lineup right now, because I think it's loaded. And it's interesting that these big festivals now kind of do something that's like a little bit of everything for everybody. So the appeal is just huge. You want to run through the calendar just so everyone can get an idea of how stacked this lineup is, at least to us.
Sure, yeah. It's September 2nd to the 5th, so 4 days. The first day is like Grand Ole Opry stuff. Don't really care too much about that. Friday's when the big stuff, kind of big bands appear. You got the headliners. I do like how the headliners are just completely opposite ends of the spectrum. You have the Foo Fighters and Megan Thee Stallion as the headliners, and then sort of one row below that, you got Run the Jewels, Janelle Monáe, Glass Animals, Deftones, Young Thug, Tipper, and Jack Harlow.
Yeah.
That's one day.
You also got Grace Potter that day and Primus. Nelly, who we just talked about, really low billing for Nelly, I feel like. You also got Dashboard Confessional. You got the Weather Station. You got Waxahachie that day and Lennon Stella. So I'm almost more excited for the earlier days, but if we do attend, there will be some tough choices about some artists probably going on at the same time. What about Saturday?
Saturday, you got another disparate headliner. You got Lizzo and Tame Impala, two big names in the music world from very opposite ends of the spectrum. Also on the bill for Saturday, and this would be my reason to go Saturday, would be My Morning Jacket. And you got G-Eazy, Jason Isbell, 400 Unit, Phoebe Bridgers would be good, Incubus, and Seven Lions. And then on the lower level, you got King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, who people in our comment sections always talking about them. They're okay. Not too many others kind of on the lower echelon for Saturday. I don't know how you feel about any of the other artists there.
The lower ends I don't know or care about as much, but My Morning Jacket has been on my to see list. They're one of the main bands I've never seen live. And I wish I could have seen them 10, 15 years ago, because I like their first 4 or 5 albums so much more than I like their recent albums. Still like their recent stuff. So I'm fearful if I see them, the set list is going to be just loaded with a lot of stuff that I don't like as much as the older stuff. I'm still excited to see them. Really want to see Phoebe Bridgers though. And kind of want to see Incubus. I've never seen Incubus. I like Incubus a little bit. Wouldn't mind seeing them.
Yeah, it's a good lineup. I, of course, am complete opposite with My Morning Jacket. I want to hear their new stuff. So I would love to see them on Saturday, September 4th. Sunday, closing out, you got Tyler, the Creator, and your girl, your favorite, Lana Del Rey.
Our girl.
Our girl, yeah. Our girl. We'll split her right in half. Also on the bill, you got Lil Baby. Don't want to see him. Deadmau5, Leon Bridges, Young the Giant, and Brittany Howard, formerly of Alabama Shakes. And you have a couple on the lower stages that would be cool. Flogging Molly, The Struts, Julian Baker, and that's pretty much all I know. I don't know if there's anyone else on there who piques your interest.
No, to me, Sunday is the weakest day, except Lana is the headliner I want to see the most. So maybe that would be a day where we stay in or don't go to the show until the evening or whatever. But yeah, Friday to me is the most loaded. Like Irish, like pretty much from 11 o'clock in the morning, I want to see acts pretty religiously. Some sleepers that I'm really looking forward to if we do get there is I want to see how the weather station kind of transfers to live. Janelle Monáe, I feel like will be a really cool vibe to see live too. And Phoebe Bridgers, obviously, and Tame Impala. So I don't know. I think it's absolutely loaded with acts, and I am a big fan of festivals because you can see so much in such a short period of time. So I'm pretty excited about this and hope it happens.
If you had to pick one day, which would you pick? Would you go with Lana, or are you going to go with the Friday just bumper crop of artists?
I would go with Friday just because everything else other than Lana on Sunday, I feel like I wouldn't get my money's worth just to see her play for 70 to 90 minutes. So yeah. Although if you guys go see Foo Fighters as the headliner, I might hop over and see Megan Thee Stallion. No, I won't. I'll be going with you guys. So what about you?
Also,
What's your pick?
I would pick Friday for sure. You know, I like the Foos, and I love Janelle Monáe, so I definitely want to see her. Although Saturday with My Morning Jacket would be great, but I think Friday as a whole would have the best show. There's also one other one I just noticed, the Turkals with Jerry Harrison and Adrian Belew. Speaking of him, we just got through his work on King Crimson. I think they're doing Remain in Light, the album. So I'm going to stay away from that one, but I think everyone else would be real excited to see that.
Yes, I did not know that. Deftones too on Friday. That was cool.
Love the tones.
I like Deftones a lot too, and I don't like a lot of stuff that sounds like Deftones, but I really like Deftones. So, all right, well, we're definitely going Friday then. Yeah, in general, coming out of COVID, seems like live music is slowly getting back into our everyday lives, and I couldn't be happier. Love live music.
Yes. So it'll be fun to go to another show again. I can't remember the last one I went to before everything kind of shut down.
Mine was the New Pornographers, which was pretty good. But yeah, it's been a while. So, what was the last show you and I went to together?
Pearl Jam?
Pearl Jam? No way. That was so long ago.
2004?
I guess that's probably true. We haven't really lived in the same city too often the last couple decades. So
Been a while.
It's probably me seeing your band and you seeing like me and Jay. That's probably the extent of it. So, all right. Well, live music on the horizon. Out there in the comments, let us know what you think of the Bonnaroo lineup and some other live music opportunities that you guys are excited about. Let's close off this GMA with some of our favorite or not so much new release reviews. I need to get my ass in gear a little bit with these. We're almost a third of the way into the year, and I think I've only got 40. Well, I'll be on pace for 40 albums, which will be my output from last year, essentially. So I guess I'm in good shape. But tell me about what you've listened to, my friend.
Well, I don't know if I listened to anything new this week, but since Easter came last week and we did not have GMA, there's a couple that I listened to last week. I had like a day where I didn't have any new listography stuff to listen to for our, big rankings. So I went through and just listened to a whole bunch of stuff. So I have a couple of notes, nothing, I'm not going to get too in depth, but I listened to the latest Evanescence. She's back, Amy Lee. 3.5 stars. They're an okay band. I like her, but the sound, the music is just a little too generic. It still sounds like it did 10 years ago or whatever when they first came out.
20. It's got to be. They're on the Daredevil soundtrack with Ben Affleck in 2002.
It's been a long time. Also listened to, and another 3.5 star. I got Demi Lovato's latest, Dancing with the Devil. I like her. I like her style and I like her voice, but again, this is another sort of generic sounding pop record. I was expecting maybe a little experimentation, just some kind of growth, but she pretty much sounds exactly the same as she has on all her albums. Another one, Genghis Tron, who I'd never heard of, just showed up on my Spotify. It's like this weird metal. They used to be like this screamy kind of metal, and now there's kind of like psychedelic, almost like chant singing. Like it's a weird vocal style, very sort of dreamy metal. It's nothing that I've really ever heard before. Probably 3.5 stars for that as well. I listened to a bunch of stuff. Nothing broke through the 3.5 to 4 stars. So a lot of stuff that you'll see in my, 40 to 100 range on my year-end charts, but I don't think any of these are breaking into the top 25.
Well, 5 stars for the name Genghis Tron. That's always love a good play on words. Love it. I got some good ones. I'll start with some decent stuff. I've got Fake Fruit by Fake Fruit. Kind of like a really static sounding, lively indie punk rock kind of deal. Female lead singer, not too inventive, but a good kind of lively spirited one. I'm going 2.5 on that. I've also got the Notwist with Vertigo Days. I'm going 3 stars there. Kind of your basic Notwist stuff. They have a really interesting history because they started off kind of really hard and metalish and then kind of moved into just kind of like indie rock pop stuff. They do have a really good album at the beginning of the 2000s that I think I mentioned one year, Neon Golden, but didn't break free, excuse me. But my favorite thing I've listened to, I'm going 4 out of 5 stars for Green and Gold by the Antlers, a group that we haven't talked about much through album of the year, mainly because they kind of sit in that 3.5 range for me. I think kind of the same with Jason. We both don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think we both like the Antlers, but don't love them. But yeah, I would check out this album. It's very mellow, very poetic, very beautiful. A lot of really good instrumental work. The lyrics don't do much of the heavy lifting, but the playing does. Just got a really cool, laid back, relaxed vibe. Kind of perfect for right now, just like these rainy kind of spring days going on. And just great. Not entirely full of ambience, but like kind of borders on that rock ambient kind of vibe to it. And yeah, not pop rock, but really good stuff. So yeah, I've got at least 9 or 10 4-star albums so far this year. So it's starting to look pretty good. I only have 1 5, but third of the way into the year, essentially. I think it's kind of on pace to maybe be better than 2020. What do you think? Although who knows? Way too early to say.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the big releases aren't out yet. I think Lana's was really like the first big one that I'd been looking forward to. I have 9 4-star albums so far this year, but most of the artists were and albums were things that kind of snuck up on me. Like I wasn't expecting to like the Hold Steady as much or Death from Above. I didn't even know it was coming out. So I don't know. I think it's more kind of loaded towards the summer and fall months with the big name artists, which I usually go for. So it's really hard to tell whether or not it'll be better or worse than last year. I think last year was probably my least favorite year ever. So hopefully it's better than that one.
Fair enough. Well, everyone, please let us know what you think of the album ratings we've done and let us know what other new music you guys are listening to. Joe, any closing thoughts on this week of GMA?
No, I got nothing. Are we going to announce who? I feel like we should announce sort of some of the stuff we're getting into on listography, however.
By all means, fire away.
Well, next week, or I guess starting this week, we got Pearl Jam, which will be exciting. We recorded that one a little while ago. And then following Pearl Jam, we're recording a whole bunch of artists, some of which you have been asking for a lot. I don't want to give away the names. We're gonna tease it at all. We're gonna give away something.
We'll give away more, but just to give a week heads up, after Pearl Jam, which will be starting tomorrow, Blondie will be the week after that. So you got 8 days to check out Blondie. Yes, but Joe's right. We are recording a lot of stuff so we can kind of take a little bit of time off. So there will be a big, hefty hand of videos that look kind of out of place time-wise, and then we'll be back with totally different haircuts and beards and all that sort of stuff, and zits and all of that, but just facial blemishes. And then we'll be back probably with our normal, we'll do a poll and then kind of pick our stuff. But yeah, let's let it out of the bag. It'll be Pearl Jam and then Blondie. We are also recording Guns N' Roses and Supergrass. So a lot of that coming up. Yeah, good call. Everyone get ready for all of those. That should cover about a month. And don't forget to get on listographymusic.com and vote for the finale, the boss fight, the grand finale, the crescendo. Corey Feldman, Angelic to the Core versus Boston, Life, Love, and Hope. What's worse? We don't want to get into it too much, but stay tuned because that episode will be coming out very soon. Stay tuned tomorrow for the beginning of Pearl Jam Week and Friday for Albums of the Year 2012. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, like the bell, hit the bell for notifications, like the video. You can like the bell. And don't forget to check out our social media presence and our website. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And let us know again in the comments what you think about some new music. That's what we're all about. It's probably going to get heavy with a lot of new music reviews coming up here. So have a great week, and we will see you next time on Good Music America. Take care.